Edrizio de la Cruz, CEO of Regalii, generously granted me a few minutes of his time here at IMTC WORLD for a quick interview. What were the main points of your panel session?
The main points was alternative forms of remittances. So in the last few years, there's been a big evolution around targeted remittances. So instead of sending cash, doing some form of direct payment. And the first form of that was airtime top-ups, which was non-existent around 2005. And now it's a huge industry. Over 1 billion transactions have been done on airtime top-ups. And the next wave of that type of targeted remittances, people believe, is mobile bill pay, which is what we focused on. Well, Regalii is, we are an API for international mobile bill pay, basically. We are in 10 countries, so we have access to bill pay, 300 services across 10 countries. We partner with a lot of the FIs and banks that are here to provide their consumers with access to international bill pay. And I think the same challenges that international top-ups face early on, we're facing as well. But with time, the more growth, the more adoption, the more people start consuming the product, the more they start seeing the value behind it. And as you know, it's all about improving the life of the recipient, right? Improving the life of the people you left behind. So if you can pay their cell phone, you can pay the electricity, their gas, their water, their mortgage, their gas, anything directly that you can make their life better is an incremental improvement in that person's life. And over time, the better technology you have, the more adoption you have, the better that life will become, and the more widely accepted the product becomes, the same way that our international top-ups have become now. Well, transactional costs overall across remittances have come down heavily from around 15% in the late 90s to around 5 to 10%. So that's great for both the sender and the recipient of the families that send money back home. But when you think about transactional costs, you got to look at holistically. You got to look at the cost of the recipient, right? So a lot of these people on the recipient side are unbanked. That means they have to go pick up money somewhere else. And that trip for that recipient costs that person money. It's also very inconvenient for them because they live typically in a very dangerous neighborhood. Where I grew up in the Dominican Republic was a very dangerous neighborhood. And my grandmother and my aunt had to literally go home, get on a bus and a wawa, and go pick up money and put it in her pocket and go somewhere else. We want to avoid the circumstances, avoid the situations. And I think that's why international bill pay allows the recipient to avoid having those incremental trips, because once that bill is paid, they don't have to go pay a bill, go somewhere else, pay another bill. It avoids those incremental costs, incremental trips that they don't need to take. Fantastic conference, amazing people. For us personally, about half the participants are already using Regalii, the other half are potentially using Regalii as well. But it's a great place to build relationships, to learn more. The panels have been fantastic. You uncover a lot of nuances and new information around the street that we didn't know before. So from an informational perspective, from an educational perspective, and from a relation perspective, it's a great conference overall. Probably the best conference for money transmitter in the world.
Great, thank you.